Hey everybody, it's DIY day. So today we're finally going to make a plant hanger for this owl pot that I picked up for about $6, I think, at the DG store. When I first started buying them, they were $4. Now they're $6. So, anywho, I have my rack up because today I'm going to post all these on the Etsy shop. Some of them are, but I need to go back through and edit. So if you're looking for that, it may take me a day delay to get the link to the Etsy shop put up and get everything updated. So if you're seeing this, like, you know, Wednesday, January 4th, please check back in this weekend. I'm also going to drop the prices on what's in there, and my prices do include shipping. So if you don't want to make one yourself, and you're not so inclined, I will have them for sale. And I also need to get my emails uploaded. Like, we can do a custom order for someone. I would absolutely love to. And also, I really need to sit down and do the tie-dye tea cloths this week, or tarot cloths. They're flour sack towels that nobody wanted to buy as tea towels. I guess it's not a thing anymore. So then I was like, well, I do tarot, so they could be tarot cloths. They could be a cloth for your dresser. Honestly, the ugly ones I use for paint cloths and paint rags. And so I'm going to turn the camera around and try to get us set up at a good angle. And I'll be back. One thing before we get into the close-ups, just so you can see my height here. I'm going to do it off this rack just because it's easier for me and I'd set it up for the photos. But oftentimes I use my, the upper counters, the upper cupboards in your kitchen. You could hang it off a knob if you have a knob in your kitchen. And then I let them just drop down to the floor. And then I give a couple feet out on the floor. So, I am not very good at the exact length on these, just to be honest. I always end up with really big tails on mine, and so you can save yourself some cord by doing them a little shorter. It honestly just depends on what you're doing. If you're doing the crisscross, and we're going to get into the more detailed stuff coming up, but we're starting with the basic. You know, if you do the spiral, they take more string. So just food for thought, because when you're doing this one, you're switching between the two cords, and so it doesn't take it quite as much string. And then with these, you'll end up with a couple really long strings. So if you're just now getting into this, you'll learn how to adjust for that. Honestly, I just waste string. Okay, I said it. I'm a string waster. But if you're really looking to produce them and obviously save money and cut costs, then you'll want to make the strings shorter and account for that. But it can be tricky then when you get down to the bottom part if you didn't leave yourself enough string. So I've also done that several times. So that's my little tip before we get into it. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get much a better camera angle than this. Just I'm not completely set up to do like DIYs and stuff yet, so bear with me. I know there's a lot of channels out there, so there's a lot of great macrame channels. I watch some too. So I will tell you, I did leave one of my strings on here. How I was talking about the lengths. I did leave one about 2 feet longer because what I want to do at the top of this one is why I did that. So I have a piece of string. This is probably overkill, but I like to make wide tops. So you can just knot it. Some people just knot them. But I have my loop. This is just like some shower rings I honestly bought because I used to have a boutique and I use them to hang stuff. And well, I still have my boutique merchandise. So as we grow, we'll get that posted. But I hold it at the top, and then I make a loop up you just want to leave some extra. It's not rocket science. You're just kind of holding it like that. It doesn't matter if it crisscrosses or anything. And then you'll start wrapping it around until you have just a couple inches left. It is very awkward the first couple times you start doing it, like anything that you do. You know, like I'm sure it looks super easy for me now, but if you saw the first couple times me trying to hold all the strings together, it wasn't so pretty. So don't judge yourself too harshly. And then you just take the loop and you stick your tail down through the loop. You can hold on to the tail then and let go. And then you want to take your string up top and you'll pull. And then I kind of pull on both of them a little bit to get it tight. And then you'll pull. I usually pull it about halfway up. So you're pulling your knot up in there to keep it secure. So then you can grab it by the base and go ahead and push it up. I love it when my awkward face pops on and push it up so that you get, you know, however you want it. That one I might have gone a little too far. As you can see these ones. So, and it looks like I need to pull on a couple of these strings like I have. It looks kind of awkward and not even, so. Okay, and then you can just give these a quick trim off. Okay, and then I'm going to find my two long strings. So I'm actually I wanted to start this one. I'm going to start this one with a spiral. But then when I get down to the plant part, I think I feel like doing the flat one. So for the spiral, okay, I know I'm going to make it look easy. You pull it over, and then you put it in front of that, and then you go behind. Oh, of course I'm stepping on it. It's kind of awkward when you first start also because your strings are really long. Okay, and then you want to pull it tight. You may have to push it up a little bit, and then we're going to do it again. We're not switching sides because we're going to do the spiral, so we're going to pull all of them from the right, and it will naturally spiral around on its own. So over, down, behind, back through. Honestly, one thing I did was I went and got like really cheap thrift yarn, string, whatever, for like $1 at a thrift shop. And I practiced a whole bunch on that before you get into your macrame. And also, guess what I need to do? I need to stop right now because one very important thing you want to do is if you don't have a lighter, you at least want to knot the ends. Sometimes I burn and knot them if I'm getting into something elaborate. But if you don't, by the time you get down to the bottom, it all kind of starts pulling apart a bit and the string gets weird. So I'm actually going to stop and see, you have to love an imperfect tutorial. And I'm going to stop and I'm going to burn the ends of these slightly real quick. Just like quickly, like you don't have to full on, you know, I kind of try to hit that last inch and it just kind of tightens it up a bit. All right. It doesn't need to melt on fire, but, you know, if your partner's a pyro, that might be like a great little project for them to, to help you with, get them involved. Again, see, no man hating on this channel. So, okay. But I am going to pause so that I don't waste and drag the video out too long. Okay, back at it. So also, you know, just a note, like this string I'm using right now, this is like I'm guessing like a poly. So it's going to melt, whereas a cotton would probably be more likely to catch on fire. So, you know, don't catch yourself on fire. Don't burn your whole project. Also, if you don't like the look of this, I probably could have just started with the spiral up top. You'll probably have a few more awkward moments getting it started. You know, I'm not saying there's any right or wrong way to do it. So, again, over, behind. I don't have any super rhyme or reason to how I'm making this one. It's just going to be a one-of-a-kinder for that pot. But when I get into, like when I'm having a mass production day where I might make like a whole bunch in different colors, you know, then I count them out so they all, you know, they all match and they're all pretty symmetrical until you get to the bottom, and then some just have longer tails because I had the string longer. The little ones, the teeny tiny ones I did, honestly, I just did those in little knots. So if you're overwhelmed by the, you know, by all the weaving, if it's confusing, you can still do some pretty cute ones with the knots, and you can just add extra. You can even put, you know, some beads up here. So some of them I'll take and fringe the bottom where you unwind the string. I don't do it on the thinner stringed ones because I just don't feel like it looks as nice. I don't think I have an example for you right this moment on this video, but I'll do a video when I get all of them posted in the Etsy. Like I'll just kind of do a debut video to show my work, but I'll fray a couple of them for that. So okay, I think I'm going to stop there. I was just trying to get, you know what, I'm going to keep going a little bit actually. Because this string, since I left these two longer, it's not that it matters at all, but then they'll catch up with the other ones. And it'll be a little more even as I go throughout my project, so we'll just do a couple more. And I'm wondering if I should drop you guys down a shelf. If you're following along with any other videos, I'm sitting this in the camera stand inside the ladder rack that I made for the farmer's market. And also when I'm not there, I use it at home to dry out all the peppers and stuff. So, excuse me. Okay, so when I go to then start the next part of it, I always grab the first, 4 that are flat together in a row. We've got 6 here. I'm going to leave those there. So I'm going to grab the 4 flat ones. I'm not saying you have to do it like that. I just feel like for me, it makes it separate out easier. So then I'm going to drop down a little ways. Again, there's no science on how I'm doing this one. And then I'm going to cross over behind, through. And now this will be really awkward the first time that you go to do it because you're trying to keep it all kind of taut. And then we'll switch sides and we'll pull the left side over and then the right side will go behind and come out the front of the loop. And then we'll pull it up and then you'll kind of pull it down a little bit. You may have to play with it a little bit. Again, I'm sure that looked really easy when I did it, but so now I'm going to count of 4. I'm going to go right side behind, out, left side over, right side behind, out the front. So to do the flat ones, you just switch sides. Okay, let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Just trying to figure out how much room we have. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at 10. And then I'm going to flip my piece around. I'm going to look for 4 flat ones. This is when things start to get tricky because sometimes it's hard to get them all even with the other side. You may have to pull some out and redo it. I've definitely gotten, too much into power mode and had to pull out and redo some. So happens to the best of us. Don't get frustrated and give up. Keep going. That's why I say practice with some cheap string first. And then that way, when you bust out your more expensive macrame cord, you'll already be a pro, and then your piece won't look all awkward. And then eventually, you'll get into such a rhythm that you basically won't even have to look at it. It's just muscle memory. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then if you lose track of your count, you can just count the strings going across, and then that'll get you. This is also looks like when they make the paracord bracelets and stuff. And actually, I think the first one that I made was out of paracord because I just had some lying around. So this can be awkward, when you're taking your string from up here. I'm trying to decide if I want it in the middle or the outside. I think I'm going to do it on the outside. That way I can put a little bit more tension on it and pull it so that it'll blend in better. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and work this out off camera because I'm sure you don't want to watch the full tutorial. And then I will come back when we get to the base and how we do the part that actually holds the plant. So, okay, y'all, let's get back at it. So I left off and we were still working on these. I went ahead and worked all the way around. And then you just leave whatever amount of space you want down to the next one. I try to keep them even. And then I went ahead and started on the bottom. And I'll switch the camera around and get it set up steady here. But so that way we're getting ready to start working on the connecting piece that actually holds the plant. So I only did the 2, and we'll sit down and work our way around. Also, while I have this other piece sitting here, so this one looks like it's a little loose because this one looks twisted. I'm going to have to work on this one. This one's been flopping around a farmer's market box for a minute, but you can see maybe that it's a little loose. And so if you need to tighten them up, you want to grab all 4 of your outer corners and just pull a little bit and tighten it back up. So, and like this one's really bad. It looks really twisted. I'm wondering if it's gotten flipped inside out. I have no idea how that happened. This one looks angry. Well, we'll save that for another video. Sometimes you just have to like, almost like it got inverted. Boy, I would sure be disappointed if I had to pull that whole piece apart and redo it. This was like one of my favorite ones because it was like actually random, random pink, white, and green, and then I had the beads at the bottom. The beads can be hard to, like if you go buy a pack of beads, it's probably not enough for your package. You actually need to get 2 packs, or you won't have the right amount. You won't have the right amount of beads. Now, if you're buying just the brown ones that are all the same color, you're fine. But if you get the mixed color beads, like, oh, I have a pack that's like almost a full rainbow, and you can't get 4 of each color in the same size out of 1 pack. So just a heads up if you're going, I buy them usually at Hobby Lobby, but anywho, so here's the start to the bottom. You will want to grab your piece. This one is going to be a little awkward because it's an owl, and so I'll have to, you know, finagle it a little bit when I get it inside of the piece to see how it'll like, so you'll be able to see its face. So I may want to leave this one where these are a bit higher, but this will help you decide, you know, you can have some variance on how long these are, but you just definitely want them to be long enough that they'll go all the way around. So we'll see what we end up with here, but I was hoping to do it so that you'll be able to see the owl's face, but we may have to just kind of scrunch it at the back once it's in there. Because again, well, that one is pretty round, but I digress. So, I wondered if I should show you on 2 that aren't connected at all. You want to take 2 from one side, like on this one, we're going to go 2 from the left. And then on the one next to it, we'll take the 2 from the right. Make sure you're all straight at the top. That very well could be what was wrong with that other one. I may have been pumping those out like all in one day, and I may have gotten tired at the end. I'm just being honest, so. And again, we're just doing the same thing. So on the bottoms, I don't like to do as many. Now, if you're doing a giant pot, you can definitely, you know, leave some wider or longer. I don't know what we should call that, but generally I like to do 4. I think where we can see on this one, but now this one was the thinner string, so this may be more of a string issue. Just doing 2, it doesn't seem to have held its shape as well. So looking at my other ones that are that same material where it looks like I did 4 and 6, they look like they've definitely held their shape, but also they have a pot stuffed inside of them because I custom made them for all those pots from the Dollar Tree. So anywho, but as you can see, look, so here's learn from the mistakes. I did this one too high because these other 2 are the same. This one's too high. So one thing you can do is just loosen it and then slowly work your way up. Now, I will tell you, if it's like a big long strand of like 7, sometimes you're better off just going ahead and taking it out. So, but it is somewhat adjustable. So if you find yourself off, see, now I dropped it too much. So I'm going to leave that one where it's at. And then I'll work my way back up from just the one underneath it. Pull those 2 circles. Okay. So it happens to the best of us. And you know what? When the pot's in it, excuse me, you probably wouldn't notice it at all. You know, the weight's going to pull it down. So, okay. So, again, I pulled 2 from this side, the 2 on the right from the left side. These are twisted. I've got to untwist them. I have another camera, guys, that I will be able to do better DIYs. I mean, I kind of just did this randomly because I love them. And I needed to finish this one up for a gift. So I'll have some better camera angles because we're going to do a wind chime out of glass bottles. But I want to learn a more elaborate, kind of like the more... To me, it kind of looks like a flower almost, but I have these big glass jars that I want to make, you know, I have this big vision for this project, but, you know, master your craft first before you maybe use that one-of-a-kind piece or, like I said, when I first started doing these, I practiced a whole bunch just out of, you know, some string I got for $1. So, okay. Do be careful at this point that you don't drop your pot, but this will give you an idea if it's going to fit. Obviously, this is, you know, I'm holding it very awkwardly, but we have it wide enough, and then it'll give you an idea of where you need to connect them at the bottom. Okay, so like I said, this one was kind of awkward because it's my owl, and so we'll probably have to kind of bunch them at the back when it's sitting in it. It mostly looks awkward because I'm not holding it even at the bottom here. But I don't think that's bad. Okay, I think that's okay. I was worried that these were going to just hit like right over the eyeballs. And then I tried to spin it the other way. And it was like right in the middle of the owl's face. So that didn't look very cute. I've never done one for the owl. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. This is non-sugar coated DIYs here. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this distance the same. And I'm going to go down here. And we're going to do another set of 4. And then I'll knot it underneath that. So I like to give it a wider base. Let me grab one of these guys. You know, there's 1,000 DIY videos for macrame. So, you know, you may find another way. I'm not saying mine is perfect. This is just how I do it, you know. If I can inspire you to go find a better video and watch it and make something, that does not hurt my feelings at all. I'm here to inspire creativity. But so then I did the next one down, and then the knot just sits underneath it. And then I feel like it gives it a more solid, should hold it tighter for you. Hold on, sorry. I'm not a professional here, amateur. But I just feel like it gives it a nicer, heavier base. Because a lot of times, like this one set I did of all those red, white, and blue ones, those were just dollar store pots. But I actually prefer terracotta pots. And so, you know, they can be really heavy. I should get out the Mega Beast of the one that I made and show you, because it's really got the really thick top up here on that one. I don't know if I double stringed on that, but I believe this is 4 millimeter, and I think also on that one I used the 6 millimeter. So it was a really girthy top. And I'm going to move this white one. Might help us see a little better. Okay. So I have my circle. And then again, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to take the 2 right ones from the one on the left and the 2 left ones from the one on the right. See, now it doesn't overwhelm me at all. I mean, I know I'm fumble fingers because I'm doing it here on camera, and I keep looking behind me to see if you guys will be able to see. But the first time I did one, it was like so overwhelming, like with all these strings. And I promise once you make a couple, then it's like you could do it with your eyes closed. You pop the TV on. I don't watch TV. I watch too much YouTube. But or listen to the radio, and I just, you know, knock a bunch of them out. I enjoy it. Again, I enjoy, like, the tedious crafts and stuff like that. That's, if you're here watching any videos for grounding exercises, I mean, or this would seem crazy to someone else, it's kind of relaxing to me because I don't have to think about it a lot. Okay, so these are uneven. Look at me go. So again, then we'll just pull, and then we'll work our way up. Pull it tight. Probably went too far like we did on the last one. Nope, that's good. So I got it to drop down a little. Now I'm going to work my way back to the bottom. And there we go. So and I will turn my piece. Two on the right. Two on the left. So when I go to make these, and like I said, when I go to mass produce them, like if I'm making a new design or a new pattern, you know, that first one might take me like 45 minutes just to kind of hash it out and get it how I want it. And then when I go to follow up and make a few more, you know, it might only take me 25 minutes. So okay, let's see what we got. Well, you can still see its little face. I wonder if I should have dropped them down a little bit more. I'm going to call it just because I am. Could lift it up a little bit, I guess. Nope, I'm going to go through and I'm going to drop these bottom ones down a little bit more because this is a gift and I do want to see the owl face. So I'm actually going to go back through, drop them down a bit more. I'll come back and then I'll show you how we do the bottom. It's super easy. It's actually just like the top. So I mean, I think even if I shoved it up, that might just be what we're going to get because of the shape of the owl, the height of the pot. Tell me, owl lovers, tell me. Just like, I feel like it looks awkward. Maybe it looks awkward because I'm sitting here turned backwards looking at the reflection of it in the camera. I think it's okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and make the base. So, I'm trying to turn it up without dropping it. We won't have the base won't be very far from those bottom 4 ones we did. And it will be somewhat adjustable. So, just like the top, we're going to do the wrapping. And let's see. All right, we got lucky. No animals have ran off with our string. I'm going to start down a little bit lower because it's easier to shove it up than pull it down, just in my experience. So, again, we're going to do that. And just basically sit it on it. I think when I first started, I was going that way, but then I found it was actually easier if you hold it and then cross backwards over your string. Could be wrong. That's just how I do it. Oh, I also found a really great lampshade that it has a great wire base underneath it, and it's like it's a wicker one, so it was like an old hanging one, and I'm gonna strip that down and macrame on that. But I also want to learn some new patterns. Again, I don't know everything. I haven't been doing macrame very long, but I want to learn some more elaborate patterns before I do that. So you can see maybe on this one, the string's now kind of on the back side and the loop is here. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull that loop. And then the loop itself disappeared. So now I'm going to gently pull them both just to make it a little bit tighter. And I'm going to let go of the bottom one and I'm going to pull that loop and that other string halfway up inside of it. So always a good time to pull your other strings down. Make sure you're even. Okay, then we're going to set the pot in and see how awkwardly I can do this twice in a row for you. You know, when I was younger, I've always loved crafts like my whole life. I was never the art kid. I was more like the goth home ec chick. But I've always said that I was like rock and roll Martha Stewart. You know, I don't think that's bad. I don't know. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Okay, I do want to push it up a little bit at the bottom. I was sitting very uneven in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out because I want to be able to see its little beak. And again, I'm going to hold on to these tight. And I'm going to actually pull down on this a little bit, but not super hard, just to keep it taut. And then I'm going to push that base up a little bit. Just go a little bit at a time. And you can pull it back down. If it's not big enough, you can pull it back down. I just find it's easier to push it up instead of pull it down. So okay, crappy homemade Christmas gifts. Final outcome, ladies and gentlemen. So I like to leave the tails really long, and then if the person wants, then they can go ahead and cut them off. So that's just me. You can burn them at the end. You can unravel them and fray them. I'll do that in another video. Sorry, this one won't be for sale because this exact one with the pot is a gift. But I will put the other ones, obviously minus this one right now because something's off with it. But I will put the other ones up in the Etsy shop. These are the real thick ones that are the 6mm string. And I just like the cute little ones. Sometimes I'll hang multiple ones like in a string. I did do a rain. I will do a video on the rain chain one I made. I have to finish the first one, and then because I'm still working out the pattern, I've never done it before. So when I say we're winging it sometimes. But when I finish that, so far it's looking really good, and it was, I want to say I found 6 or 7 terracotta pots that were, you know, larger in size as you go down. So I will do an upcoming video on that as well. And I will try to work on camera angles for you guys before we do that big one. So, and then they'll be for sale, in the Etsy shop. So, obviously none of these come with hangers. Or not come with hangers. These are the hangers. Come with the pots. And then some of these little ones, I was just going to mail them with the pot. So if anyone wants them without the pot, they could be less because ironically, it's going to probably cost me more to ship this than it costs for the pot. But I'll take the loss to share the love. But just if you're seeing this video and you're going over to order one and you already have the little terracotta pot, you know, shoot me a message and I will work that out. So, I mean, same thing with those. I don't believe the Dollar Tree has them out right now. Maybe you already have one. If you don't want the pot to come with it, you know, then it's just cheaper for me to ship. But then again, prices do include shipping. So that's why I say shoot me a message, because then we'll figure out a way to work that out, and I'll just pull it out of the store or put up a brand new posting or whatever that needs to look like for us to make that happen. So also I can do custom ones if you have measurements of pots or anything. I'm happy to do that. Probably might, you know, take me a week or two depending on what supplies I already have. I think I probably used up a lot of my round beads when I was making these. So sometimes the store is just like, they get ran out of like every store right now, they get ran out of the product. So, thanks guys. Good luck, and we'll see you next time.